this is James from the Ed Center in Northern Lights School Division, and I got a question for you guys. What kind of room doesn't have any doors? I have no idea, but let's check out these mushrooms, some chanterelles specifically, which are these boreal mushrooms that grow in Northern Saskatchewan, and they're delicious. And we found a patch of them right over here, so let's check them out. So chanterelles are actually the fruiting body of the mycelium network underneath. So these mushrooms here, they're not individual organisms. They're actually extensions of the same organism. They're the parts that contain the spores. They're for reproduction. Now remember, in biology, whenever we're looking at an organism, always ask yourself, how is it getting its energy and how is it reproducing? Because those are always questions that can shed a lot of light on that organism. So let's start out by looking at the fruiting body, the chanterelle mushroom, right on the ground here. So these things are actually mutualists. That means they have a relationship with another organism where they work together. In this case, I'm betting that these chanterelles are working as a team with this tree here. So chanterelles, their mycelium grows along the roots of the tree, and they have a trade-off where the tree gets sugar through photosynthesis, and it gives the mushrooms, the chanterelles, a little bit of that sugar, but what does the tree get out of it? It's a two-way street because the mushroom actually breaks down a lot of material. It's a heterotroph. It eats things like we do. It's actually more closely related to humans than the tree, even though we put them in salad sometimes. But these things will break down stuff on the forest floor. They're decomposers, and the nutrients that they get out of them, like nitrogen, will go towards the tree. So they're giving the tree some nitrogen and other nutrients they break down on the forest floor, and they're getting a little bit of sugar from the tree. And they're also giving the tree some moisture because they have their own little networks of root-like organs that can draw in moisture. So I'm going to cut one of these things here just to show you what they look like. So let's get a look at these. So here is a chanterelle from the top, and on the bottom they have this gill-like structure, and that gill-like structure, that's where all the spores are at. So the spores are going to be released from this area, and the reason why they have so many folds is for increased surface area. They can get more spores exposed to the air, so when they puff out and get carried away by the wind, then there's more of them that can travel. Now you might remember from the plant section that a spore is different than a seed, right? A seed has a tiny organism encased inside of it, a complete organism, but a spore is actually just a single cell, and that's how these mushrooms, the fruiting bodies of the chanterelle mycelium beneath, that's how they're going to spread around and propagate. Another interesting thing about these chanterelles is you can't grow these in a factory. You know those mushrooms you get at the supermarket? You cannot get chanterelles that way because they are dependent upon the boreal ecosystem. They need to have this mutualistic relationship with a tree and special yeasts in the soil in order to survive. So that's why they're a little more expensive and a little more pricey than the mushrooms you can find in the stores, because not only are they delicious, but you have to forage for them. They cannot be grown in a factory. They need to be found in the boreal ecosystem. And that's one of the things that I love to do, is go around and search for these things.